Good morning.
Good morning.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. That's annoying.
Yeah, that's just why.
I can't do shit, but I know I want to. Maybe if we talk about it, I'll find shit to do. I got a brain somewhere and you got one too. Da-ba-da-da, something to be fucking do.
Because the first time this week that I noticed you annoyed was the Heineken advert.
Oh, you saw that, did you?
I did see that. Like, I had no part of that.
You did at one point.
At one
you
point.
liked Heineken on Facebook.
Yeah.
I like Heineken. And then it just pops up on my feed every now. It's popped up several times since.
Has it?
Yeah, my
Stop
Facebook
looking
feed.
at it.
Well, I'm working on the podcast when I'm on Facebook. That's what I'm doing. So I'm looking for articles like, Steve likes it, does he?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd pop that on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
This is what it's like being friends with him on Facebook.
I don't understand why it's annoying, but
You don't?
no.
Oh god, you should know me by now, mate. I mean,
Oh no, I know why you find it annoying because you're a fucking lunatic.
Why did you like it? Why did you like Heineken?
Probably because during a visit to Amsterdam, there would have been a thing that was just like, oh, if you like this, you'll get extra stuff when you visit the Heineken Museum.
So you sold your soul.
Yeah.
Why not just go no?
Because why the fuck not?
Because then you're part of the system. I don't know. So if you tell the world that you like Heineken,
You're the one that was always like, why are people so terrified of technology?
I'm not terrified of it. I'm just thinking about the matter of honour. You know, if you're an honourable person,
Honor?
as long as you recognise it. It's just, Steve likes Heineken, does he? It's just another one of those, like...
I do like Heineken.
Yeah, but why do you have to
I
tell
didn't
people?
broadcast it, they did.
You did, by liking it on a social media. Well, I like this, I do. It's like people who like Coronation Street or something, or a TV show. Oh, I like this. It's like, can you not just like it in your own fucking space? And instead, no, I want to like it out in public so everyone can see that I like it. And then I'll look like I'm a bit more merged in society.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I know where you're coming from.
Well, I mean, who am I talking? Yeah, you enjoing your coffee?
Yeah.
Is it coffee?
It is.
Yeah, your kettle's got a temperature gauge on it.
It has.
Yeah. Prick. I mean, is it not enough that it's hot? No, I've got to see how hot it is.
I don't even check how hot it is, but you can.
The
option is there.
Congratulations on buying a stupid kettle then. I buy a kettle that I don't even use. Well, I do use it, but not in the way that it's intended.
What?
Hipster! Why did you buy the gauge?
I didn't buy the gauge. I bought the kettle.
Why did you buy that kettle instead of a £5 kettle?
Because I wanted a stovetop one, so we didn't have more shit plugged in the kitchen.
Why did you get a
just...
£5 stovetot one?
Because there's no such fucking thing as a £5 stovetop one that's also got a fucking gooseneck, which you use to make pour-over coffee, you fucking arsehole!
Why has it got to have a gooseneck?
Because...
I only drink coffee if it's come out of the neck of a goose! Jesus Christ! This is a very squeaky chair.
Yeah, this one's... I was going to get some WD-40, but then
Don't
I
move
didn't,
on
I
from
didn't get it
gooseneck.
because I was too busy liking Heineken and drinking geese.
Does that not, I mean, I know I've got issues, right, that are deep down.
You don't care, but you don't give a fuck about coffee. You don't care about how you make it or
better
anything
coffee?
Like that.
Yes. It's got a gauge on it? No? Yes or no?
Yeah, so the if you use the gauge properly,
right, yeah.
then you you're just pretending to be interested.
I'm fascinated.
Right.
I'm more fascinated in your vulnerabilities about
So
that.
you're not meant to You're not meant to brew beans past, say, like 95 degrees because otherwise you risk scalding them, which gives you more of a burnt flavour. So you don't want that. So you go for a more like between 88 and 94, something like that.
Right.
The gooseneck is for if you're making pour-over coffee, and it gives you more control over the flow of the water than you would have with a traditional kettle.
Can you not just use a funnel? Do you know what I mean?
No!
You don't? Make your own get a goose's neck, an actual goose's
Why
neck.
don't you just make it more complicated for yourself, Steve?
You already have. That's
how?
the thing.
How have I?
Well, now you can't boil. You got to boil it at 100 degrees, I'm assuming, and then wait 5 degrees.
No, you just boil it until it hits that temperature, and then you take it off.
But doesn't it boil at 100?
It boils at 100, so you don't boil it, you heat it.
Warm it, microwave it. You kind of
You don't put the kettle in the microwave.
Gauge. Yeah, it's just I'm gonna get my coffee.
It's a matter of it's just a matter of what you fucking
taste.
It's a matter of what you're fucking interested in. You don't even like coffee for
Interested.
some reason.
I'm
you still drink it.
Drinking coffee.
You don't like it though.
Yes, I know. I'm a complex human being. But you just I can you made an important distinction there. It's a matter of what you're interested in.
Yeah.
I can accept that your little otter brain is just trying to look at the world. How hot is my kettle? That's fascinating. But if you started to argue that it was a question of taste, I'd say that you're a moron. But if you're interested in it, it's fair enough.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right,
So how
moving
are
on.
you?
Yeah, no, I was great until fucking 5 minutes ago. I was having a great morning.
Oh, it's
looking forward to this. Opened all the windows in the house so it didn't get too hot for you.
For me, I was wearing a bra.
I know. I listened back. I completely forgot about that.
Well, I forgot when he undressed. It was a weird
How's the
episode.
brace going? Have you given up on that?
Yeah, it's still in my car.
Yeah.
Just haven't used it since then. It's just been so hot, mate.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Even it's still light at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then it's light again at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
I don't know. I quite like it. It makes because most mornings I'm getting up at 5:30, because I've got early morning shifts, so it makes getting up so much fucking easier.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's hot. It seems like it's hottest at midnight. Which is the sun? Isn't the sun the hot thing that makes us all hot?
I think it's just contrast. I think that's all.
Brightness.
The sun's spent the whole day heating your house up, and then you get to the point where it's darkness, and you're like, surely it should be cooler now, but because the house is still warm, you feel like it's hotter than it should be.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've found that with us, because these houses, typically down our street, are quite cold. But the people that had this house before us put cavity wall insulation in, so it's fucking roasting in the summer, and it doesn't stop. We don't use gas until fucking November. It's just hot all for the whole of summer, which is good for bills, but bad if you don't like the heat, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's always easier to cool down.
Yeah,
I started showering my living room.
Why don't you fit a sprinkler system?
Gooseneck.
Yeah.
We're just inside. A bit warm.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Just destroy all my belongings.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind. I'd be cool.
Yeah.
Got to set the trend.
Yeah, dog would be well happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been too hot. And now it's 10:30 in the morning.
It's all right now. I think
the sun's somewhere else.
If we'd had to do this afternoon, it would probably have been unbearable.
Yeah. Just because when you say you're west facing, that's from your front door, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're east facing.
I think we're kind of either north or south facing. The sun doesn't really. I think it kind of.
The sun doesn't visit this house.
It goes a diagonal over the house, sort of. So
passively, aggressively.
Downstairs is particularly in the kitchen, and that is quite dark most of the day.
Yeah. Well, it's because I don't know, something about a kettle.
Something about a kettle. Yeah. It's because there's no Heineken in the fridge.
I'm so shit at social media.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it a little bit more. I just get I started the Facebook campaign of starting to comment on stuff as the podcast to see what happens. And I just can't do anything positive.
This is shit.
Yeah, well, there was a Facebook article that there's loads of discussion about because apparently Boeing, that plane company, have started parking their planes in a car park. And they're like, "Oh, this is..." It's like, where do you want them to park their vehicles, other than a vehicular parking area?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not a car, it's a plane. It's like, yeah, but what? Park it in the sky? Why is this an issue? Why is this? And he's just like, oh, it's just a weird commenting world. He's like, oh,
I don't. It's just things.
Can't do it.
It's that Facebook and stuff like that has become just a place for people to grumble about shit. Like the interactions the stupid interactions that they would have with people in the shop first thing in the morning when they're buying their milk. Oh, did you hear about this? What a load of bollocks. Like, they now broadcast that as though anybody fucking cares. And it turns out a lot of people care, because a lot of people have got fuck all to do.
Well, it's just that, and then also just like with, all the marketing stuff. Like, our Twitter, Twitter is a thing, meant to be more communal. So, I think at the moment, it's largely our Twitter account is just us posting our Twittery stuff. Because I've tried to look at other people's and be like, oh, I'll retweet that. But I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then I'll see something else and be like, oh. It's just, don't like people. And so don't like the pretense of social media anyway. I'm like, well, I like Heineken. And, it's like, can we be friends? I'd like to know other people who like Heineken.
Was that the thing that triggered you, or was that just the tipping point?
It's just something that annoys
day?
me anyway.
Right.
Annoys me anyway. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, fine. This is Steve, isn't it? So to put it in the group, I was like, oh, I can actually put something in the group. Yeah. But I was like, oh, there's been no responses, so maybe it'd be too much if the group was just about how much I hate you.
Ugh.
It was just like post after post after
Is there not enough of that on the internet?
Probably, but not focused with a group. You know what I mean?
A focus
It's
group.
out there. Yeah. Little dials, how much they hate Steve. 7.
Most people don't. It's just you.
Yeah, but most people aren't like me.
It's
So
very
I'm
true.
gonna have a different
Very
perspective,
true.
innit? I mean, I don't know. I don't even think I'm right about anything. It's just like I just respond in a from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some people be like, I mean, for example, I've got a Tesco club card,
Okay.
so that's embarrassing. But it's not embarrassing, but it's you could argue it's kind of the same thing as liking Heineken on Facebook to get some kind of discount.
Yeah.
It was just like, well, I got a Tesco club card because it just saves me money over time. So I'm just doing that. But I don't tell people apart from on a podcast. So that's fine.
Right.
But yeah, just it's not even part of you're part of the machine now. It's not even that. It's that little bit of oh yeah. There's part of you I imagine that was just like, oh yeah, you know what? I do like Heineken. Okay. It's just that. This is that one moment of that brief.
That doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Like that's not any reason as to why I've liked these things. Like, I've been like, oh, I need to show people.
I reckon it is deep down. If there was something that you didn't agree with,
Yeah.
would you? No, yeah, I can think of examples where you've had some kind of moral values,
Okay.
and you haven't wanted to do certain things because it would go against what you believe in.
Okay.
As in, you wouldn't like something that you didn't like.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you've liked Heineken because you've liked Heineken. If there was something that
Yeah,
you
but
didn't
not with a fucking smug attitude of I need to tell
Must
everybody.
have been.
No.
Must have been.
Because one of the things is that I don't think people kind of understand that likes kind of function that way. That when you
do.
like these companies that I don't, and it's not something that I'd taken into account, is that they then broadcast that to other people. Like I don't think people really think about that when they do that.
Yeah, they're so cotton-balled in their world of love and happiness that they don't think about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think about the bigger issues. Life's great.
I've got a kettle, it's got a neck.
Yeah.
I can make it so it's not quite too hot, so that it doesn't burn my water. Burn my
Yeah, I
drink.
can make coffee the way I like it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just the effort you put into it. It's just all it is.
I put
But I'm
effort
the same
into
with
things that I
everything.
like.
Yeah, but that means you like those things more than you like your own time. So that means...
What?
I don't know.
So it's better to do nothing than do that.
It's better to do things the most efficient way possible. That
That is the most efficient way possible.
What, to
You
slowly...
suggested buying a funnel and just adding more chaos
You
to
don't
it.
have funnels already?
No!
You sit with different people.
I don't need a funnel.
But one day you will need a funnel. I
Maybe.
guarantee you.
Maybe.
I used to make funnels out of brochures that came through the door in order to fill my car when it ran out as I was driving. I ran out of petrol as I was driving.
I've done that.
So now I got actual funnels so that I don't waste as much petrol in that, you see?
Okay.
So that's me, and you're just like, well, I'll just keep using brochures.
I'll buy a petrol can so I don't need a fucking funnel.
I tried to buy a petrol can once, they were out of stock. I'm not going in
Never
twice.
tried again.
I'm not going to waste more of my time trying to do it again if they're just going to sell them all. That was the time where I ended up putting it in a bottle of Evian, and they got really angry, and I said it's Christmas.
Yeah, they don't like that shit.
No, they don't.
I don't like. Is it because they think you're going to go and firebomb something?
Well, it's because like you could just eat through the plastic. Like you can't just put petrol in that in any container because it will just melt through and
Yeah,
fuck
but why do
everything up.
they care about that?
Well, because they're somewhat responsible for selling you an explosive.
Yeah. They sell you antifreeze.
I saw a video of like a security cam footage of a guy driving away from a petrol station with in America they've got lock-in petrol pumps so that you don't. I don't know why.
Well, still in loads of places in America, they don't trust you to fill your own car.
Yeah, but like and to the extent of this one, when you put it in, it locks and then it fills it for you.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And this guy drove away with it still locked in, and just the whole place exploded.
Well, that's a flaw. Surely they can see that coming and be able to safeguard for it.
Well, just why can't they just put it in themselves, hold it in themselves? I know there's weird different.
I've driven off with a cap open
security
before.
things.
I think that's about as far as I've gotten. But I don't. Because you're doing it yourself, you couldn't forget to take the nozzle out.
Yeah. And even if you didn't, it would just come out because it's not locked in.
Yeah. There's no part of our process that's automated. Like, if you just put the nozzle in, it doesn't fucking do anything. You have to hold the trigger.
Yeah, and I know that there are countries where there's no security, because there are security things. It will cut off when it reaches, there's liquid going over the nozzle.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And there's countries that don't have that, which can result in, like, backsplash.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just trying to reduce that even more. But, yeah, it just feels odd.
Yeah.
Just feels like a weird thing to do. So, petrol stations can just explode.
Yeah.
So I think they have to have some kind of responsibility to their explosives. Yeah. How do we get onto that?
Probably something about
Petrol
coffee and
cans.
Heineken.
Petrol cans.
Petrol
You don't
cans.
have any funnels.
I don't have any funnels.
What a loser.
Why were you so accused?
I want to highlight that. Big screen.
I've not needed
Jumbo
one.
screen. Everybody always needs a
As
funnel.
of yet, I've not needed one. And I like a lot of
Well,
cooking
you've got a
and
kettle
stuff.
now, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. So
I just don't get it, Steve.
I know. I don't expect you to.
I just can't, like, there's part, it's in everything, and it's not even like, I don't know, I think it's, like, I've genuinely spoken briefly that anybody who rolls cigarettes, I don't trust. Because you can't, you're so exposed.
I used to roll all my cigarettes.
Exactly, and you're, I'm not going to say it's family friendly now, but, fuck! Yeah, like I can't understand how you could just you could be so arrogant about your own security that you're just like, I'm gonna show the world that my hands are busy and my attention is taken away from the outside world.
It's not arrogant, it's confidence.
It's arrogant. It's confident. It's confident if you feel like there's a real security. It's arrogant to think that you're completely secure.
But am I insecure doing that in my own front room?
Yes. Because you think that no one can get to you from your front room. I can get to you. You always got to be switched on. It's my brain.
So you're always switched on.
I'm always on.
In everything.
I don't trust these chair arms. They go left and right for some reason.
You can put them down if you want. There's little triggers underneath them.
Triggers? They got buttons on it.
On the bars. On
Oh,
the
they're
bar
locked
that connects. at the top.
I'm
there.
not exposing myself to. I'm not that arrogant, Steve. I've locked them so they don't move side to side anymore. But why would anybody want that?
No,
Again,
you
your
look
attention's distracted.
thoroughly uncomfortable.
I am.
I'd rather be uncomfortable than unprepared.
Well, no, I'm uncomfortable because of how insecure this is. You need to be safe.
Just pull the fucking trigger
Why has it got a trigger in it?
so they'll lock.
Ugh. Some people just don't know how to
Good
sit
chair.
down. I like sitting down. I preferred sitting down when my arms could go up and down.
You don't have to move them up and down.
Oh, God. Ugh.
It's there. Look where my finger is. There you go.
What's the point? No, I'm not like that. Use it to make this world a better place? No. But yeah, it's just my brain. I can't trust as much, and maybe that's what it is when you like. You know, I like Heineken because if I did that, I'm pretty sure I'd die. Like that's
Well,
just
that's-
exposing yourself to another thing.
That's more. That's less of a like a peeve and more of a deep psychological issue.
I'm not disputing that, right? I don't even think it's paranoia. It's just
No.
you can't put yourself out there as much because this thing's Heineken will find you.
I never really thought I was putting myself out there.
By like,
Like a Heineken.
is this another bit of information that someone knows about you? So then, they see you in a bar, they followed you to bars. We might order a Heineken.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spike all the Heinekens.
Yeah,
Do you not think?
I don't know.
But it's the same thing with fucking just everything. I mean, just genuine conversations with people. Well, I think we spoke ages ago. You had a get together and you started talking about jazz, and I was just like, oh. This is like small talk. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh.
Yeah,
So it's not. I don't think the world should think like I do. I just have to constantly live with the fact that I am who I am.
yeah, but everybody does. That's not
Yeah.
a unique perspective. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Everyone's got their own way.
Everybody's got their own way, and everybody's is different.
People
It's
get
just yours
kettles
is
with necks.
more different.
Not even. It's just. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would buy a kettle with a neck and a temperature gauge, because my brain doesn't have time to consider those luxuries of what temperature is my boiling water. In order to pour over my coffee, I just go like, I just need coffee, or I just need caffeine. Can you not just eat coffee? That would be the ideal. That's
There's-
utopia.
You can get caffeine pills.
No, I mean just like spoonful of coffee.
Why?
Because if that's you get everything you want from that.
You don't get hydrated.
You don't get hydrated by coffee, apparently.
Not
But I
if you
think
drink
it's a
too much
hotly
of it.
hotly contested issue.
I think it's one of those things of like laws of diminishing returns where you can drink
It's a
like
diuretic,
alcohol. Like you can
non-diuretic.
drink like a pint, maybe 2 pints of alcohol, and then after that you
Heineken.
start releasing more water than you're actually taking in.
Release.
Yeah,
Fair. Yeah, your
I
brain just
think
goes,
it's the
"What's
same with
going on?"
caffeine
Well, they're
because
both
it takes a
are
lot
they-
of water to process it.
It takes water to process coffee.
No, it takes water to process caffeine, and more so than you're actually taking in with the
Process
caffeine.
it as in just like dilute it into your water it down.
I guess, yeah.
These arms are
Because-
ridiculous.
Just spin around and get rid of them. There are arms on the other
around.
chair.
Yeah, but these are clacky, aren't they? It's not going that far, but
No.
it's just the point is.
What's your point?
My point is,
Yeah.
I don't understand
I know.
the luxury, the time you spend on luxuries such as liking things on Facebook, such as making coffee with the
I didn't
temperature
spend
gauge.
time on that.
I think you must have. 5 seconds, 3 seconds out of
Okay.
your day.
Is that
You're
a
like-
luxury?
Yeah. Dead people don't have 3 seconds. That's the definition of luxury. It's, can it be done by the dead? No, luxury.
Luxury.
You luxurious bastards. Yeah. Anyway, how's your week been?
It's been
Temperature gauge kettle gooseneck prick.
it's been it's
Yeah,
been
we're
good.
friends.
It's
Fine.
been, yeah, no, it's been good. I handed over editing duties to you this week because I've been stupidly busy. Went on a school shoot on Wednesday. Got to be careful how you say that.
Yep. Successful?
which I've been told several times now. Careful.
Okay.
Like
That joke's been made.
yeah. No, it went really well. Kids are kids are fun. And like I'd never really had fun with kids before.
Yeah, you have said previously on podcast episodes that you hate kids.
Well, I don't
Wish
know
them
how to
harm.
interact with them, but it turns out if you force me to interact with them for an entire day, then I'd start getting used to it. And it's also the separation between the years was interesting. So it's like as I progressed through the years talking to different kids, you pick up different ways that you have to talk to that year group and everything like that. And then you get to I got to year 6 and I was surprised that like they were reading out like all this English work that they'd written and stuff, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure like I must have like been like writing like that at some stage, and it's actually quite adult for a 12-year-old. Like like I guess I'd missed like I had no perspective on the actual vocabulary that you've developed at that stage.
Yeah.
And I was talking to these kids like adults, and they're just good kids, really curious, and because I was walking around with the DJI all day, looking like the Terminator, so they were just like entirely interested. And yeah, it was a really positive experience. I actually really
It's
liked
weird when
it.
you think like the topics you cover in primary school are pretty adult, like Great Fire of London.
Like-
look at all those people who died. But luckily
Yeah.
it solved the Black Death. So it's just kids just traumatized. And then they having to report like stuff like, was it Samuel Pepys or Thomas Percy or somebody wrote a diary during the Great Fire of London. That's what sparked that memory. So yeah, they're probably reading all this adult shit.
Yeah.
That you don't really read when you're an adult, unless you go specifically into that field.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
I mean, it's
it's a weird part of life.
it's unreal looking at it now, thinking back to like my primary school days, and now looking at theirs and seeing like how much they actually have to do.
Yeah.
Like that, and I know there's been a lot of arguments about like, oh, exams are getting easier, but then I read other stuff that's like, actually, no, people are just getting smarter. Like the exams that you did, like when you were in school, we would have pissed through that, like based on what we're taught now, and it makes sense because over generations, the entirety of human knowledge progresses and gets larger and gets more kind of widely spread. Like it
More
makes sense
access
that
to information.
yeah, it makes sense that we're getting smarter, particularly in a world where we're not so dependent on kind of brute force and brute strength, where it's actually kind of your brain that gets you ahead now. So it makes sense that that's something that's progressing.
There's just more doors open as well.
Yeah.
I mean, just take podcasts for example. Like if you were you a Kevin Smith fan growing up?
Yes.
I seem to remember that being a
Yeah,
thing.
I think from when I was like 14, maybe.
Yeah, so then you go like, oh, you would have like seen some of his shows, maybe saw some of his films. I mean, and maybe seen a few interviews. But if like at that age you had access to a podcast of his inner consciousness, where he's talked
Yeah.
every week,
Yeah.
and then introduce you to more and more stuff, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh no, actually, yeah, this is really interesting. And then you, because you enjoy it and you're interested in it, you're like, oh yeah, go through it more and more. Same with YouTube, like Mythbusters, if you're into science and testing stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a show. Oh, I can look into that. Oh, there's so much more of it now. That yeah, I think it's just people just got more opportunity, I guess, to get engaged.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that it wasn't part of the curriculum, but on an open day for the school, I think it was an open day, our drama class just beat up a kid just as like a social experiment. Like it was all.
We all get smarter. Yeah.
It was just an. It was just like we're all in the class together, so we were just like, let's do a social experiment of us beating up Carhill, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And it was like, we'll see if anyone gets involved.
Oh, right.
And we were like,
okay.
oh, we'll see. And that'll be like
was
a
he
thing.
in on it?
Yeah.
Right,
he was in
okay.
it. But it was like,
Like, what?
yeah, and it was just whenever people came past, it would just like do more aggressive stuff.
Right.
Obviously, he was fine throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then, like, a teacher came out and said, guys, this is really out of character for you. Why are you beating him up? It's like, oh no, it's a play. The teacher was like, the fuck is wrong with these kids? I mean, this is an open day. We want to attract people in, not be
Oh.
like, hey, come to this.
Did it on an open day?
At like 6 p.m. It was like dark in winter. Just outside the drama studio, just like, bullying. They're pretending to bully this kid, see if anyone intervene. Meanwhile, they're like, I'm not sending my kid to this school. We're smart kids.
Yeah.
Curriculum was different back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like that. So these kids are learning like French and German, like while they're in primary school. It's beyond like the basic shitty IT skills that we had when we were in school. But that's to be expected because technology's developed a long way.
Yeah.
And now teachers know how to use computers, which back then ours didn't. Like they were learning as much about it as we were.
Yeah, we had many teachers who didn't understand that you can't use permanent marker on a smartboard.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was just like permanent marker of like some equation, just with a projector on it.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. It's the things they're encouraging, kind of in a mental attitude. Like they're doing it after school clubs on like mindfulness. Where like they'll teach the kids how to like meditate and to be thoughtful and mindful about what they're doing. They're playing like music in the background of classrooms just as an experiment for themselves to see if the kids concentrate better and things. It's really interesting, and it's not like a unique school in that respect. There's a lot of lot of places doing it. It's nice to see that kind of, at least if you're in a good area where you've got kids that have a good upbringing and stuff, so you're not having to discipline them all the time, that they're now kind of like that they're open to experimenting with that kind of thing.
Yeah, and after school clubs always made a lot of sense to me, just because like it seems weird that kids finish school at 3, whereas most parents finish work at 5.
Well, it makes sense in a lot of ways, just because kids can't fucking concentrate for that long. Adults can't concentrate.
But then just like after school stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just
So
like
so it makes sense. So it makes
football.
sense to do something afterwards, particularly something that's active.
Yeah, getting burn off some energy and all that.
Yeah.
And leads to a smarter society as well.
Yeah.
Just like with everything kind of getting, but you can go too far.
Okay.
Segue. They've recently. I don't know how related this is.
Yeah.
To the schools getting better.
Yeah.
But apparently seals can sing the Star Wars theme tune.
like seals as in like sea lions, not seals as in Navy SEALs.
No, seal.
Seal.
Yeah, the singer.
Wait.
No, seals. Navy SEAL. Oh my god, they're coming! And they've got their own theme song. Hang on, I've heard that theme song before. Yeah, grey seals are capable of singing movie themes and mimicking human language.
What?
Mimicking.
Hi!
It.
What?
Yeah, they don't understand what they're saying, but they're saying it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like getting to the end of the maze before starting it. So, like, somehow it's going to meet in the middle.
Cucumber Heineken Swan?
I like Heineken. What did you say, seal? Researchers at the University of St Andrews have trained 3 grey seals to copy sound sequences, several rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the Star Wars theme, and they've also been able to copy human speech sounds, including vowels.
Is there sound? Like
I don't have the sound. I don't want to hear the sound.
I really want to hear that.
That sounds like a human scream. Well done, seal.
It's a guy in a seal costume.
She said, copies weren't perfect. Oh, the seals aren't perfectly mimicking human sounds and vowels.
Idiots.
But given that they're not typical seal sounds, it's pretty impressive. The Star Wars theme is not a typical seal sound.
No. Oh wait, no, that's the Imperial March, isn't it? Like it's the Star Wars.
It's one of those. Oh, was it that? Was it? He's learning. That's no moon. It's a seal. Fucking seals. But while Miss Stansbury notes the impressiveness of the results, the research team says that it doesn't mean we'll be able to have spoken conversations with seals anytime soon.
Well, yeah. The same way that you can't with a parrot.
Yeah, basically. It's weird that, it's been widely accepted that lots of birds can talk. Like, was that one that could do a car alarm? You're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then, parrots saying things.
They can mimic a lot of sounds. There are, I think, it's probably ravens, because ravens are just, there's something more going on in the head of a raven. But where they'll, I don't know if they understand language in that respect, but they can link they can link words and sentences to behaviors, so they can say what they want. And
To another raven.
yeah, I guess in the same way that you'd maybe train a dog,
Yeah.
except in reverse,
Well, it's like
where
you could,
dog's saying sit.
you could have a conversation, you could communicate with another human being just via grunts,
Yeah,
like in quiz,
yeah,
and then they start a home improvement show.
yeah,
My neighbour's got half a face.
yeah,
Yeah, and then you could do that with just noises and get something across.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure seals can do the same. In other news, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but this keeps on being occasions where I think we've already covered this, but I think it's just happened again, and we're just in like the deja vu side of the Matrix,
Right.
Where it's just like, the parents are swinging a dead child in a swing.
Oh, no.
And then just those dead parents are what? It just keeps on happening. But this one, a drunk man. It's a good start.
Yep.
Faces 8 years in prison for invading Poland in a tank.
I'm coming.
Get drunk and invade Poland. Well
Yeah.
done. Well done.
All power to him.
Yeah. He's been arrested after taking a Second World War Soviet tank for a joyride. A joyride, in a tank.
Jesus.
It'd always be fun to drive a tank. Arnold Schwarzenegger drove a tank, so anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was like,
Inspired by the Schwartz.
yeah, I was always fascinated by that story of the guy in America that went nuts. I think he lost his job, and over a series of months, maybe a year, he made a killdozer. Like he had this bulldozer thing, and he had it in a warehouse, and over like a year or so, he armored it like to the absolute teeth, and then put like weapons all over it and all kinds of shit. And like it barricaded himself inside of it. Like I think he welded himself into it, and then went on a spree through the town, crushing houses and shops, and and nothing could stop it. The police were just like, I don't know what to do.
It's a killdozer.
Yeah. I think he kept going until it got stuck in something.
Yeah,
and then he
ran out
shot
of
himself
petrol.
inside the thing, and they had to cut it. It took him like 2 hours to cut him out of it, to cut into the top.
He's a transformer.
Yeah,
This isn't Pacific Rim. We haven't got, all these people that are... I've never understood Pacific Rim.
yeah.
It was like augmented... It was like... What was that dancing game? Dance Craze.
Dance Revolution.
There you
that
go.
kind
It's
of
like
thing.
that, but with the world ending.
Yeah.
Or something was Pacific Rim, wasn't it? But yeah, you lose your job. Your wife's probably a bit concerned that you're in the garage a bit more than usual. How's Terry handling the redundancy? Oh,
Oh, some building projects. He bought a bulldozer.
yeah, he got a bulldozer. He bought, very thick concrete metal. I didn't know that was a thing. And flamethrowers. He's having a good time.
Yeah,
It's nice for him to have a hobby.
He's a big kid.
Yeah, he's got a gauge on his kettle.
This is how it starts.
He's getting fascinated by things.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. The 49-year-old is apparently responsible for loading the 40-ton vehicle onto a lorry, but during the process, the ramp broke. So instead, he drove it into the streets of Pajezno.
Right.
I think that might be how you pronounce it. A town in the centre of Poland. 60-year-old tank is the property of the Polish military, but to the residents of the town, it appeared more of a threat than a museum piece. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you see a tank driving down the road,
That's a threat.
it's like, this is art.
Yeah.
This is some good... That killdozer is very artful. I like how, smashes my property.
Yeah. With me in it.
So they quickly called the police. Good on you. When officers arrived, they found the tank parked on the road and the man standing next to it. I'm just a bit... He appeared drunk and was in any case not insured to drive the tank.
Who is?
You insured to drive this... You insured to invade Poland.
Is that road legal?
By 5 a.m, the tank, which apparently wouldn't start again, was removed by police. We're taking it away. We're confiscating your tank. Last year, a man in Russia also stole a tank and was also heavily intoxicated during his rampage in which he crushed a car. The escape ended when he covered the enormous snow-covered vehicle into a supermarket before emerging and climbing through the rubble to try and steal a bottle of wine.
Right.
As if that was the full purpose. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Smash through it to get the wine. We got it. Go. So maybe we did cover it before. I can't remember. Something about invading
We've
Poland.
done some of these. Yeah, something. Yeah.
And it's happened before in a comedy set.
Yeah.
Many times. It just seems... it's keeping the dream alive.
Yeah.
Of just like, not even like to be newsworthy, but that's an adventure.
Some people are real
Invading
go-getters.
Poland.
Some people go after the career they want. Some people go after the country they want.
Yeah, some people, when they get drunk, they just get sad, angry, and, domestically abusive. Others commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Single-handed war crime. Like,
While drunk. That's great. Yeah. Whoops. In other news, a man urinating off a bridge in Berlin has caused a number of injuries.
what?
He pissed off a bridge and people got injured.
How? Did it freeze on the way down?
Just, he had I don't know, alien piss or something like that burnt through people's skulls. I can't remember. The unidentified man urinating from a low-lying Janowitz bridge onto a tourist boat was on Friday evening. A number of people on board the boat jumped in surprise and hit their heads.
Oh.
Hit
Well,
their head
he
on a
didn't
bridge.
injure them.
Yeah. Well, he made them jump, and they hurt their head, I guess. 4 people were taken to hospital.
So
From piss jump.
piss makes you jump. You need to toughen up.
Yeah. Well, you're on a boat. It's not like water's gonna be a surprise.
No.
Like if it started raining, you wouldn't be like, ah!
Yeah.
It's
I'd be
just
more
like-
surprised by the talking seals.
Yeah. That seal's building a moon.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, they went to hospital with head lacerations. So maybe they jumped and hit their head on the bridge.
Yeah.
Or hit their head on... I assumed it was probably the roof of the boat. But then you think that wouldn't make them jump.
Like things that it's pretty easy to make me jump. I don't like horror films. I don't find it entertaining to be scared.
Well, you jumped during the sound test before the episode recorded because I played the bees thing. You're like, oh!
Yeah. It's pretty easy to make me jump. That's just my response. I think that's a fight or flight thing. That's just how it is. But
Jump up.
You suddenly aware. But I would never describe that as a physical jump. Like you don't actually bounce. Like you almost shrink into yourself.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, you definitely involuntarily reflex some way, whether it's a bit further close to the ground or higher in the sky.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's a weird thing to blame on somebody else.
Yeah.
I cut my head.
That
'cause
man
he
was
pissed.
pissing and now I'm injured.
It made me jump,
Yeah.
and that's what caused my trauma. Is that an act of God? No.
I don't know. It's an act of weakness. Weak!
Okay, we've got some of these this week.
Oh, seagull!
Seagull. Nesting seagulls kept a couple hostage in their own home for 6 days.
Don't move.
Yeah, this is our house now. Yeah,
You got a kettle?
they attacked them every time they tried to leave their house. So just 6 days, these seagulls laid siege to an elderly couple.
Okay, elderly, right?
So
Okay,
they're in their
okay,
70s.
fair enough.
And it's as well as being, maybe mentally frail. I don't believe they would be, but if that was the case, but also just a bird pecking an elderly person is more dangerous than them pecking a baby.
What's the thing? Like in my house, I've got both a helmet and a bat. I'm pretty sure that would solve it.
You have a helmet?
A bike helmet.
Push bike helmet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but they attack your face, I think.
Bat.
They'd attack the back. Oh, right.
Maybe I'll buy a funnel. That'll fix it.
If you had a funnel, that would make more sense. You could funnel them out of your house.
Yeah.
I've always liked I like efficiency. That's what it is with funnels. Right. I mean, I didn't want to, crush your dreams, but
You didn't.
no, but you had a go at me for parking where I parked today.
I didn't have a go.
You did.
I just wasn't sure.
You didn't understand it.
Yeah.
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 Well, the reason I parked in front of your car when there was a space beside me, but I was just aware that what if there was an emergency, a flash flood, right? And your wife
I want
wanted
to make
come
sure
home.
that only one of us can get away.
Well, I'd give you a lift. But I know The reason I made that decision was because I know that you won't need to leave the house without me being aware of it. Because we're having a conversation. If you're like, oh, can I move the car? I'll move it.
I just hadn't made enough room for you. That's all.
No, it's fine.
All right.
There was enough room. But yeah, it was like, they're just thinking ahead. It was like, oh, well, what if his wife comes home in the middle of the day for whatever reason? I don't want to block the drive. And then if she then has to park in front of me, then there has to be some kind of conversation. So it's like, I'll just park here and everyone can leave me alone. It's advanced management of a psychopathic mental state. Yeah. Anyway, these birds, Roy and Brenda Picard, 71, said they were constantly confronted by 2 squawking adult seagulls after 2 chicks ended up on their roof.
Right.
So they nested in the house, basically,
Yeah.
and then became very territorial because that was their nest.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing of the birds were protected, so you can't do anything to harm them, which I kind of agree with, but not if you're in my house.
Yeah.
I definitely draw a line there. Be like, oh, I don't know how they got hit by that car.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they were in my house, they were harassing my family. They're out of the house now.
Yeah.
But they're protected species. Yeah.
Seagulls are protected.
Apparently. These ones are anyway.
There's fucking billions of them.
Maybe it's a special breed of
Particularly obnoxious breed. Fuck off.
Yeah, but they were genuinely frightened and terrified. And he said that his wife...
Seagulls can be quite aggressive. They can be quite aggressive when they're not breeding. They steal your food.
Yeah.
This one did.
Yeah, the quickfire seagull definitely stole some shit. But yeah, decided to lay siege to an elderly couple.
Yeah.
Seagulls.
Yeah. We've had on that note, there's a public footpath around here that's had to be closed recently for the time being because it's used by dog walkers and there's hawks nesting there and the hawks have been attacking dog walkers. Like a seagull's one thing, but a hawk.
Yeah, hawk's another level.
Yeah.
And like the seagulls, they're quite durable as well. Like they kind of feel like they're a bit battle hardened anyway. So you kind of wouldn't want to mess with that, let alone. It feels like a seagull hasn't got the weapons, but it's got the tenacity.
I guess, but like I went sea fishing for a mate's stag do, and they said if this seagull starts fucking around near your line, don't wave it off, don't shoo it, don't anything. Because it'll take off, it will go, and then it'll come back and vomit on you, and it reeks. That is an obnoxious animal that uses vomit as like a
chemical
weapon.
warfare.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in another quickfire article, a herring gull survived being shot with a 28-inch arrow lodged in its body.
Christ!
So someone fired an arrow at a herring gull, if that's a seagull. The arrow was through it, and it just kept on flying.
Jesus!
I'm not letting this elderly couple out of their house.
Yeah.
Shoot me with all the arrows you want. It flew off with the arrow still embedded when it was spotted in Poole, Dorset on Sunday. It was captured, and they found a gun pellet in it as well.
Christ!
Was it
a Spartan? Like what the fuck?
A charity said that this gull's attacker could face up to 6 months in prison and an unlimited fine.
Wow!
For attempting to kill a seagull.
I mean, I don't mind that.
Animal cruelty, I guess.
If that's a precedent for protecting
seagulls.
Well, just protecting animals in general, then I don't mind that. That's fine by me.
Yeah, there's definitely you can't shoot an animal with an arrow and it'd be legal. Well, hang on, you can because it's hunting's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I don't know
animals.
if you can in this country. I don't know if bow hunting's legal.
I think gun hunting's legal.
Gun hunting is, yeah.
So you got to imagine you can't just guns are fine, but bows and arrows no.
Yeah,
you got to be like probably have to have one and the other.
Well, I think a lot of it's because you don't need a license for a bow.
Maybe, but you need a license to hunt.
You need license.
Fox.
Yeah, you need license to hunt. You need license for a weapon. But like, if you go out and shoot something, even if you don't have a hunting license, they know who you are and where you live, because your weapon's registered. Whereas you don't get that with a bow.
Oh, as in they can trace the ammunition from the carcass.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, there'll be something.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. And in other quickfire news, one of the UK's largest police forces arrested a 93-year-old woman who had committed no crime because it was her dying wish. Her dying wish was to be arrested.
That's happened before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Everyone wants to be arrested.
Yeah.
I'd like to resist arrest. I don't know why.
It's my dying wish for
Arrested.
you to try to arrest me.
And I want to die during. Just, yeah, that's a weird letter to write. Can you come arrest me, please? I just fancy it.
Yeah. But there was, I think there was an old man that I don't know if he used to ask to be imprisoned or if he used to commit a crime intentionally to be imprisoned around about Christmas every year, so he didn't have to be alone, which is really sad. And he'd go and have dinner with the inmates, and like, yeah,
it's better than loneliness.
Yeah.
Jeez. And a small article I found just before the podcast. There's a cure for baldness on the horizon. Which I just find funny because I never saw baldness as a disease.
No, it's just one of those things.
It's just like a hair colour.
Well,
I mean, I don't understand. Maybe it's just because I've been without hair for a long time, but I can't remember the benefits of hair.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess there's people who don't find bald men attractive, but I don't find those people attractive.
I'm married. I don't care. This is so much easier than it ever was having hair.
Just being bald.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just prefer to see it as the hairstyle.
Yeah.
Have you got a crop or whatever?
To be fair, some people don't have a good shaped head for it.
Maybe. I mean, there's stuff for like alopecia where like you've got like,
and also
like
particularly if you can't grow a beard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the like those crash dummy looking blokes. Or I can understand why.
Those crash dummy blokes, as in like where it's like no hair at all.
Yeah.
That's a term for that. Is that alopecia? Might be. It's like Matt Lucas. I think he had a condition where his hair doesn't grow.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have eyebrows, for example.
Right. Okay.
So he just doesn't have hair. But you go like, I don't understand that. It's not like, maybe it's a disease. I mean, for some people, like different cosmetic things are diseases, aren't they?
It's a disease.
Shape of
it's only a disease if you consider like, I don't know, small breasts to be a disease. It's something. Like,
just like, I don't think that's a disease.
It's not. It's a preference.
Yeah. It's a psychological condition.
Yeah.
Manifesting in some weird way. But yeah, again, there's definitely like benefits to it. I mean, like they think they bring up an example about like burn victims who've like burnt away some skin. The hair stops growing, so they can regrow the hair there. Yeah. You're like, okay, yeah, I can see that as being a helpful thing there. But it's not. Yeah, baldness isn't a disease. No, there's no need for a cure for it.
Yeah, but there'll be loads of people in the world that use hair plugs and have wigs and toupees and stuff, and that would never came to terms with detaching from their hair.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. It's been so long as well, and I was never that bothered when I had hair. I was never that bothered about it really. And it's just some people. Yeah, I guess they put a lot of value on it. But the same way they put a lot of value on their eye color. Yeah. I think
it'd be one of those things where, like, if it came out and if it was affordable, I'd try it for a bit and be like, is this something I'm interested in? But like, I'm almost convinced I just wouldn't bother. Like, I'd go back because I think it'd be more of a curiosity thing. Because the big thing that was the
I'd
leap
grow
between
hair in places where there was no hair.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like just on your elbow, just like loads of
like
hair.
A ponytail.
There. Yeah, just be like, hey, look at me.
I've got tassels.
I'm more important than you are now. Got an elbow moustache.
Yeah.
And lastly from me, from the audience posting a thing, Edinburgh Zoo has denied that it employs a penguin erector.
Well,
which apparently there was a rumor about. That
settled my curiosity.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether it was a sexual thing of this erector or someone who just picks up penguins again.
Oh, right.
Like, maybe it's that. I have no idea. But apparently there's a rumour that Edinburgh Zoo had a penguin erector.
Okay, like a fluffer.
Like an employee, yeah. I think so. Maybe to get them to procreate.
Okay.
Maybe.
Why was...
It's just a rumour.
Why does it matter?
Yeah, it seems like a valid thing anyway.
Well, I'm sure it's necessary within certain species because they just don't want to breed in captivity.
Yeah, and probably all zoos want their animals to mate.
Yeah.
So they probably do loads of things to help them procreate. So what's the difference with penguins?
Yeah.
I don't understand penguins, though. People love them.
Yeah. I used to work with a guy and it was his favourite animal. I didn't understand why. He went to like some kind of thing in Florida, and there was a penguin parade.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
In Florida,
the last place that a penguin wants to be.
It was a penguin escape.
Yeah,
And they framed it.
yeah. Well, it's
Look at this penguin parade.
It's like making prisoners of war march through the streets.
Yeah.
It's just like, ugh.
In horrific conditions.
Yeah.
It's like,
Not made for this.
please let me
But
go.
then there are some penguins that like hot climates. There's in New Zealand and stuff. There's penguins chilling out on beaches and like
It's weird.
you
Climate
just
change.
don't think about it.
Yeah, you don't think as a penguin on a beach, do you?
No,
Having a swell time playing volleyball.
you don't think of pigs on a beach either. And there's like Pig Beach is a big.
But
thing.
they lay egg. Well, maybe it's just like certain penguins, isn't it? Like they lay eggs in the coldest part of the world.
Yeah.
It's like, why not just go to a beach?
Yeah. Why are you here?
More predators? I don't know.
I guess,
Maybe.
yeah. Like it's just what you evolved to live with. Like I never understand that. It's like you swim for thousands of miles to find food. Why not just keep going? Just like you can get thousands of miles from Antarctica or whichever one they're at. I can never remember.
Well,
And you'll find a nice place to live.
No, but again, it builds character, doesn't it? I think that's the other thing.
Penguin character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's what we've done. It's what
Yeah.
we do. We suffer through half a year or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
And if I drop
that.
the egg once,
Exactly.
it dies.
Yeah, but then that builds character, doesn't it?
Yeah, keeps population down. Means that clumsy Greg has no kids.
Exactly. You've got to respect. You got to be like, life should be hard. You shouldn't have all these. There's certain parts of me as well that just go, I don't know. Going back to my weird mind of just trying to defend myself against unspeakable evil. Of like, it's a slippery slope, mate, when you've got a gauge on your kettle. And it's just where you go from there. I can't
Right.
understand anywhere other than as soon as you start that, things are only going to get worse.
Okay.
And it's the same with penguins. If they started going on the beaches, then you'd have all these stupid penguins around.
We will fight them on the beach.
Just like, just stay in the frozen area. It keeps you sane.
Yeah.
It's more natural.
Let's just go with what you know, I suppose.
Well, just go with what I think. There's a certain amount of there's definitely a certain amount of luxury I don't understand,
Yeah.
and I think that I'm just a bit closer to the no luxuries at all
Yeah.
kind of. Any luxury should be seen as an extravagant luxury,
Yeah.
unless you're using it for something practical to try and.
It depends how you look at it. Like, we've got no kettle that plugs into a wall, like most people do. Like, that, in some respects, is a luxury because you've got the space for it.
What?
Whereas we use ours on the stove
Yeah.
because our spaces are cluttered. We haven't got enough room for anything.
Oh no, I mean as in like to make a hot drink. Some people just pour hot water
Yeah.
into something that mixes and makes it a drink.
Yeah.
But as other people will like use unofficial funnels, necks of geese
Yeah.
and gauges to try and be like, if I do this, then my life will have meaning.
Yeah, but that's it. It's again, it's a level of interest. Some people heat up food from a can and call it dinner. Some people actually cook.
Oh.
Well, like it's.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a valid point. I'm just being mocking. Some people actually cook. We use it from plastic bags rather than metal tins, and we're better for it.
No, well, to be fair, no, I use tomatoes from tins in my
This
chili.
is true. Yeah. Well, that's just a whole other kettle of
Swans.
penguins. Penguins, goosenecks, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically me this week.
All right, sweet.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prohibition agent Izzy Einstein bragged that he could find liquor in any city in under 30 minutes. In Chicago, it took him 21 minutes. In Atlanta, it took 17. And in Pittsburgh, it took just 11. But in New Orleans, he set the record of 35 seconds when Einstein asked his taxi driver where to get a drink, and the driver handed him one.
There you go.
All right.
Wait, was he the bad guy in this?
Yeah, so he's
Right.
he's a prohibition agent. He's
Right,
there to
okay.
investigate cities and try and find out where the drinking holes are and shut them down.
Yeah. It was a
Taxi drivers
weird
just
time.
like, here you go.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, we've got parades.
Yeah.
You know, taxi drivers have alcohol.
I wouldn't have put that together, to be honest, because I don't think of the 30s or whenever prohibition was. Maybe the 20s.
After World War One.
So
big
like the
thing. So, like,
20s.
19, 20.
I don't think of there being taxis.
Yeah. There were cars,
Yeah.
but not many.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, yeah. No, yeah, there were cars. There
So
were
I guess
lots
if
of
you were a
cars.
taxi driver back then, you made quite a good living.
But then I guess the cars were probably more expensive as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were petrol stations in Prohibition, from what I've seen in films.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that would therefore mean that cars were pretty regular.
Mm.
Yeah, there were cars in Prohibition stuff. But yeah, it seems like it would be expensive to have a taxi, but then necessary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it would be weird. Prohibition was just so weird, such a strange phase. I totally understand it, but I find it strange.
I don't know much about it.
I think it was basically after the First World War, just alcoholism was really high. And so like the
Understandably.
government was like, no, we can't have all these alcoholics. And I think there was probably something economic behind it, as in
Yeah.
people were making too much money and they couldn't tax it or something like that.
But they
made
made
it
even more
illegal.
money after they banned it.
Yeah. So it's just, I think they just tried to, oh no, society would be better without alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing because you kind of can't argue for that, really. It's
Yeah.
definitely a negative effect on society.
Yeah.
But if you use it a little bit, it's kind of good.
But it's hard to get rid of things that have like negative things that have been tied into culture. Like alcohol's got such a history. Like and in every country that history is different. But the history of alcohol in every country is always very rich.
Yeah.
Like there's always a lot of story to it.
But even if you were to get rid of it completely, I think that society wouldn't necessarily be the most better for it.
No.
It's kind of a weird thing where I think society does need a poison
Yeah.
to
It's
negatively affect
it's very
themselves.
much that kind of like opening Pandora's box things. Like you literally can't put the cork back in the bottle. Like it's people know about it now. So if you ban it, they're only ever going to be curious. If it had never been figured out, if no one had ever thought to drink it in the first place, then it'd be fine. We'd find other vices because we do.
Well, it's a coping mechanism, but it's definitely a mechanism to open up the negative side of your psyche. I think to blow off some steam, as some people call it.
If you
but
take
it's
it
more
too
just
far,
to be
but, like,
negative.
the
You need to get in that negative space sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you have a hard day at work, you don't celebrate with a beer. You celebrate surviving a week in the job that you struggle in, and you're just like, I just want to sit in how bad everything is right now, and you drink it.
Yeah.
That's my association with a lot of vices anyway, is you're not necessarily using it to escape it, you're using it to kind of manifest those negative vibes into something so that you can actively do something bad for you in the recognition that it's okay because you've suffered something, so you're okay to deal with it in a certain way. I think alcohol will evolve into the Star Trek world, which is like, no hangover alcohol.
Yeah.
So that
Or synthesized, so it gives you the feeling, but it doesn't.
yeah, the feeling
Yeah.
and the taste, but yeah, it's not a permanent thing. That's probably where it will go.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons people don't drink as much is because they can't survive as much the next day,
Yeah.
or they're driving. You go, oh, if you could just like press a button and all the effects go away,
Yeah.
probably what
Yeah.
will happen. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I feel like there will always be these kind of negative things for people to use. These poisons. It's just the ones masked as joyous, like the sugar thing. I think is a thing that will go, because it's like, people don't drink it. Apart from me, don't drink it to feel bad about themselves. They drink it because they've been brainwashed to thinking it's refreshing. And it's just like, it's the opposite of refreshing, but the mental effect is there for you, so you've associated it.
It's definitely an addiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazily so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mosquitoes can smell what blood type you are, and they prefer type O.
The palate of a mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, preferring the O. Fair enough. Do you know what blood type you are?
No.
Yeah, not enough people know.
Do you?
No, I asked. And they wouldn't tell me.
Oh, that's
Western medicine.
Is that legal?
I think they just go, you don't need to know.
Okay, but
Okay, because you need a test for it. And then
yeah,
like, we
but I
don't do
want
another
to
test.
know, and it's something about me.
Yeah, but it's like you can't just get an X-ray.
How come you get to know about me and I don't?
But I think it's a separate blood test to get like the blood type back or something, which sounds strange. But yeah, like they were very reluctant to tell me. It might just be because I've got superhuman blood that kills me at a faster rate than everyone else.
You've got gorilla blood.
Angry gorilla blood. And you'll be dead by 40. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
great.
good, yeah.
It's a weird blood type.
Yeah. Yeah. Redheads have a 25% higher pain threshold. They can make their own supply of vitamin D and feel temperature changes better than the rest of us due to their redhead gene. I didn't know about the
strange.
pain threshold thing. I figured I kind of guessed about the temperature.
Create their own vitamin D.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
That seems...
So they
Well,
just
I wonder what the study was. I'll
actually
put it that way.
that makes sense because they can't deal
go
with
out
the sun.
No, but you feel that they get more vitamin D from the sun because they're more stereotypically pale.
Yeah.
That they'd get more sunlight.
But they've just eliminated the need for
The
sun
need for the sun.
altogether. Like,
It's a weird test. We keep on testing redheads.
Mm.
Seems strange. It's a part of society that's become the lab rat of humanity.
yeah.
Test them. How much pain can a redhead hair hold?
Yeah.
I don't know. Keep stabbing them and see when they say stop. Oh, we stabbed a blonde the other day.
Yeah.
How do you test a pain threshold?
I'm not sure.
Slowly test, I guess. But
It'd be like hold this electrode until you can't hold it.
And then I guess your hair colour is usually a side effect of something else in your genetics. It's not like the fact that you've got red hair means you've got higher pain threshold. It just means you've got something in your genes that gives you a higher pain threshold that also causes you to be redhead.
Yeah.
It's like a weird... Yeah, it's not just the colour of your hair, it's the fact that you carry a specific gene. But then you got like vague redheads, haven't you? Like I think I was a redhead. I don't know. I had gingery hair as a kid.
Yeah.
And I've got a gingery tinge to the beard sometimes.
Vix is a vague redhead because she doesn't have red hair, like, at all, but she does have fair skin.
Is that a redhead thing? Is fair skin a redhead thing?
Fair skin and freckles. She can't really tan.
It's like lots of Japanese people are actually redheads because of fairer skin, like the doll people.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, not tanning seems like a weird one. I don't think I find it very difficult to tan anyway. I just burn.
Yeah, well that's yeah.
So like maybe that's a thing.
I think that's the thing.
But yeah. Well, you burn because you're already full of vitamin D. You've already got it before you've gone out in the sun.
Yeah, you're just too efficient.
And then you just you burn. Parking space and Goose's necks. Yep.
All Australian doctors who plan to stay in Antarctica during the winter must have their appendix removed in case of an unexpected rupture.
That makes sense. It's weird that it's only Australians.
What? Yeah. Yeah. But maybe it's only Australian doctors that go
to
there?
Antarctica.
Like, because they're pretty
Bit
close.
closer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that makes a load of sense. I mean, people do die from a ruptured appendix, as we've seen in The Last Man on Earth.
Plus, if you don't need it, then...
Yeah.
Do you need it? Have we ever figured that out?
It goes up and down. There's always these things that come up, say, oh, actually, it helps fight blah-de-blah, or it helps with this, helps with some personality tribute.
Because you had yours out, didn't you?
Yeah.
And have you, I mean...
I haven't felt any different.
No, nothing different. No.
But apparently, yeah,
I
see
feel
every
like
now and
shit anyway. So.
Yeah, life's terrible already. Yeah, like you see all these things about like, oh, it actually might affect mood disorders or something like that as well. So they still don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it can happen to anybody at any time. It's not even like people are certainly susceptible to it.
No.
All it is, I got told when I was having it removed, was just when you're digesting, just a bit of digestion gets like stays in an area for a little while.
Oh.
and then, gets a little bit blocked and then carries on. But because it's like waste that's sat in the area around your appendix,
sort of
it
infected
just
or
gets
inflamed. Yeah.
And that's all it is.
Shit.
So it's just like you might have eaten something dodgy a number of times or whatever. It's just the digestion traffic, basically. And so it's like, oh, yeah, now that's fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That makes sense to get... I mean, there's not that many surgeons in the Antarctic, I guess.
What do you think they thought that was before we knew?
Demonic. They must have.
Yeah.
Because, like... Yeah, when mine got infected, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I thought I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, right, okay, it's this, it's kind of this. I think my appendix is fucked up. And I rang the doctor, and they rang me like 6 hours later. I'm like, oh, yeah, come in. I'm like, okay. Yeah, you're screwed. Oh, thanks. They're like, oh, you have to stay in the hospital for a couple of days now. I was like, well, I've got a dog. Well, you better make plans for it. Can I go home and sort out the dog? No.
Yeah.
Because you might die.
Right.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like incredible fever. That was really weird. It was like a 6-hour fever, and it broke. And by the time I was in hospital, I was like, I think I'm fine now. I mean, I'm sore, but I think I'm fine. But once it happens, you have to get it removed. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've
It makes
broken
sense.
down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very sweaty, feverish. So I imagine people thought you were taken over by the devil, and then you die.
Yeah, but I imagine that was the case with a lot of illnesses back then.
Tonsillitis.
Satan, he's just
His
getting about these
throat's
days. Yeah.
Kill them.
And finally, in 2015, Tommy Woodward, a 28-year-old Texan, ignored a large sign that said, "No swimming, alligators," and instead yelled out, "Fuck the alligators," and jumped into the lake and was mauled to death almost instantly.
Don't taunt them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking for it then. Legend, though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
absolute
a good
legend.
way to go out. Again, like, well, I'm not sure about being mauled, but just the attitude of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would probably feel like a tit
Yeah.
if you were like, fuck the alligators, and then, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have told them to go
Like,
fuck themselves.
not just like one alligator, but just
all of them.
bunch. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. Well, there's a story recently about a girl getting attacked by 3 sharks, not just one. Like, there was a recent thing. I can't remember. I was going to talk about it. It was like,
but
oh,
it's that
just
kind of like
mauled by
blood in the
sharks.
water thing, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
I guess they go get a bit frenzied if there's a few of them about.
Yeah. Heard a story about like a bunch of hikers that got kind of trapped on an island with a bear, and the bear was like going over and taking one at a time to kind of feast with.
Jesus.
And like they were like, apparently they're like, there's nothing you can do. You just kind of have to accept that you might be dead next.
Yeah.
And like some of them survived because the bear was full, decided to leave. But I saw that'd be a great way to go. Is like
Just
being
taken
like,
by a bear.
as in like, yeah, especially with a group of people, like they're not martyrdom, but there's kind of like, right, I'll step up and just go for it, but accept that I might just be dead.
Yeah.
But at least I'm going out in a massive blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And if I win, oh my God, have I won?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be the guy that's
Roll the
taking out a
dice.
bear.
Yeah. Just like, yeah, especially for a group, that kind of thing. Let's step forward and get annihilated.
Well, that's a caveman thing.
I guess so.
Although, as a caveman thing, you go out as a group and take out the bear.
Yeah, you help each other.
You can just be like, no, you all stay here. One man, one bear, sorted.
I've seen Captain America.
Yeah.
Have you seen Captain America? My mind.
Yeah, check the cave paintings. It's all there.
Yeah. Star. What is America?
Yeah. Well, you'll find out.
Yeah. Like, watch this.
Yeah, spoilers.
He throws like just a little bit of a circular bit of bark. Explodes. Oh,
Don't.
raw
Physics. I mean, we haven't discovered that yet, but physics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah. I am at Sing It Steve.
I'm at Nick Snip, and we're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook.
Yep. There's a group with pictures of Steve liking Heineken in it.
There is, and you can find us on YouTube. And incidentally, if you are a representative of either Heineken or a swan neck kettle manufacturer, get in touch, because I'm interested, even if this prick isn't.
I'd be so uncomfortable with that whole situation. But fine.
That's what we live for. That was 143, 142,
so.
143. See you next week.